Hi, StarSurfer here with the June 2023 monthly reading for my Pisces. My oceanic, beautiful Pisces. Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. How are you doing, Pisces? I feel like y'all have been tuning into some crazy stuff. You were calling to me, and it's definitely for a reason. I love Pisces energy. It is so spiritual in nature. I mean, it's all that's beyond the physical, right? And there is something, for me, an energy worker and, psychic and a tarot reader, it is like I vibe so much with y'all. So thank you for gifting us with your energy. Please allow me to return the favor. The first thing I want to say as I look into your astrology, my Pisces, is Saturn is in your sign. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. You're probably freaking out. If you are unfamiliar with Saturn as an astrological energy, it is the planet of boundaries and restriction, responsibility, delineations, containers. Not really suited to this kind of Pisces energy I've been talking about that is like formless and boundaryless and shapeless and shifting and flowing and moving and unified and porous, and Saturn's in your sign saying no, solidify, contain. I will say that you have probably gained, since Saturn moved into your sign in March, where it will stay until 2024. You have probably gained a newfound appreciation of structure. And structure isn't everything, but it's certainly a piece of the pie. So I hope that you are allowing yourself to not just stew in like a resentment of like, I can't believe life is forcing me to put up these structures in this way. It is only for your benefit. It is only 222, as I said that. It is only for your highest good, so that you can create the kinds of things you would like to create, and they are lasting, they are healthy, they have an impact, instead of just like water through your fingers, right? Sand through your fingers, instead of just like being present and washing away. This is the structure that helps you to root and create lasting impact in your life and the lives of the people you touch, even the people you are unaware you are touching. I will say, yes, this has all been happening for you, and it will be a continued energy and presence in your life, as I said, for the next, year and a half, 2 years. But Saturn has begun its retrograde last week. As of this recording, Saturn is retrograding right now. What does that mean? It appears to be moving backwards in the sky, which Saturn does half the year. All of the outer planets appear to be retrograding half of the year. But for me, that means there is an easing of the pressure you might be feeling. It was probably pretty immediate for you. If you haven't felt it yet, know that you have about 6 months of just like, okay. Saturn got to like 7 degrees of your sign of Pisces, and it's literally during its retrograde, it's going to go all the way back to the beginning of Pisces. Yay! Don't panic. Again, let me get back to that point. Don't panic. For me, this means you're going to get a chance to, if you feel like these last 2 months have not been like you've missed an opportunity to take advantage of this energy, or you've missed, you're going to get a redo, basically. We're going to go back over this all, the last, 2.5, 3 months in this retrograde period of your, like, what kind of decisions did I make? What kind of structures did I or did I not put in place around my own emotional life, around my own understanding of myself? What did or did I not do? And then once Saturn gets all the way back to the beginning of your sign at the end of its retrograde and begins to move direct, basically a whole redo of Saturn in Pisces, you get the chance to do it again. but better, more informed, with experience and wisdom accumulated. And that's lovely. But right now it is like the pressure's eased off. You've gotten a taste of what it is like, and now what adjustments do we need to make? What understandings do we need to reach? What, new tactics do we need to put in place with the information we now have? Jupiter's also sextiling Saturn right now, which is a relationship formed between the two planets, between the two energies. Again, Saturn, boundaries, restrictions, responsibility, dedication. And Jupiter, expansion, ease, flow, abundance, fortune. So I love that, again, this feels to me, again, akin to the retrograde energy of like, whatever pressure you felt is easing. Jupiter is here, the retrograde is here, like more ease and less force, which you love. Like you want things to just happen and flow the way they need to happen and flow. Saturn is saying, yes, that is useful, but also, buddy, put in structures in place so that you can get consistency with your results, right? There might be a way before Saturn got here where it was like, sometimes my way of doing things really gets me far, and sometimes my way of doing things, I'm like, it's the same effort, it's the same tactic, but I'm not getting the result. There's something missing consistency-wise. But Jupiter's here is like more ease, less force. Yes, keep structure. Yes, review what we did or did not accomplish, because Saturn's always about accomplishing. It always has a goal. It always wants to accomplish. But Jupiter and the retrograde are saying, we want to accomplish things, but we don't want force or burden. We want ease. Now, that being said, there's a paradox here for you, my Pisces, that with Saturn in your sign, accepting responsibility, paradoxically, will give you more ease. The longer and harder you fight against accepting the responsibility Saturn is asking of you to put in structures, right, to create boundaries, to create consistency and diligence, the longer you resist that responsibility, the more uncomfortable and chaotic you will feel. The sooner and the stronger and the more courageously you accept responsibility for yourself, the easier things will get. Isn't that wild? But that's the Saturn game. Play it to win it, right? Accept the responsibility, receive the ease. Fight the responsibility, receive the chaos, the disorganization, right? The panic. Accept the responsibility, receive the ease. Neptune, your planetary ruler, your chart ruler, if you are a Pisces rising, because every sign is ruled by a planet. Pisces is ruled by two planets, Jupiter, in classic astrology, but I see it much more associated with the energy of Neptune, which is the energy of mysticism and spirituality, cosmic unity, but also illusion, make-believe, fantasy, right? You probably fall on both ends of that Neptune dichotomy, right? There are times that you are completely clear-eyed mystic, and there are times you are falling into illusions. But let's do a little math here. If Saturn, the planet of, again, responsibility and structure, is here in your sign, alongside Neptune, your ruler, but the planet of illusion and mysticism, one, I'm sure whatever, shamanic or cosmic consciousness you just were born with, you are so in tuned with, it's like breathing, you don't even need to try. I'm sure it's elevated now. If you receive downloads, if you receive psychic or intuitive messaging, which every Pisces does, whether they know that's what's happening or not, it is happening. That is elevated right now. Neptune will also be squaring the center of our galaxy for the next 2 years, which is the center of everything. It is the center of cosmic consciousness, and Neptune is in dynamic relationship with it. So, whoa, you're gonna be feeling some shit. You're gonna be hearing some shit. Saturn is also here. My recommendation which you can take or leave. You got free will. It's your life. Do what you want to do. My recommendation here is absolutely like allow the flow, the downloads to come because they are given to you for a reason. And then once you receive them, once the download comes in, once the intuitive knowing, arises, you then run it back, whatever hunches or awareness that feels intuitive that comes to you, you run it back through like the most discerning or worldly lens you can muster, right? This is quality control. Yes, the creative process is, the process of generation, but then there's the process of quality control, where we look at the thing and we say, does this make sense? Can I translate this into my reality? Is it useful? Is it structured in the correct way? Receive it, allow it, open to it, do that Pisces thing you do. And then once you've done that, run it through the analytical lens, right? Like get CIA, Scorpio, Virgo detective on that, which I know you don't like, but it will help you. It will help you. And if you don't do it, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, can you lead yourself astray. Don't try to front like this hasn't happened in your life. I know it's happened in your life. Like you have followed a hunch without doing the quality control or running it secondarily through a worldly lens, like a discerning lens, and then you get yourself tripped up or in a sticky situation you could have avoided if you did the quality control. So do the quality control. Last thing I'll say about that, Neptune and Saturn in your sign, in Pisces, rebuke self-pity. The shadow side of Pisces can be a bit self-pitying, which is again only shadow side, and we all have Pisces in our chart somewhere. So this isn't a shameful thing. Like I'm not telling you that so that you feel more self-pity. I'm telling you rebuke the self-pity because it is a hindrance, it is a deterrence from your path, from your calling, right? You were not placed on this earth to feel bad about yourself. Release the energy you've locked up in self-pity so that you can do this kind of work I've been talking about, right? Putting the structures in place, assessing their effectiveness, receiving the downloads without the cloud of self-pity to warp them. Last couple things I'll say here is that as I record this, we just had a new moon in Gemini, a new moon, the start of a lunar cycle in Gemini, which is if you are a Pisces rising, and that means Pisces is your first house in your chart. A new moon in Gemini is like a new start in terms of creativity and romance. It's in your fifth house of creativity and romance. It's like a resurgence of creativity, a renaissance of romance. And then almost immediately after this new moon in Gemini, the sun moved into, a new moon is always formed when the sun and the moon are in the same place in the sky. Right after that, romantic creative resurgence, renaissance, reemergence or rebirth. The sun moved into Cancer, which is your sixth house, if you're a Pisces rising, of day-to-day work routines, health, service. To me, what those two things mean, what those two events mean internally, right? Because this astrology is only ever a reflection of what is happening internally or collectively. But for you, what I feel this means is that you need to make this new energy in terms of creativity and romance, whatever rebirth or resurgence or renaissance you're feeling there, you need to make it present in your day-to-day life and routines, right? Like, yes, you have this feeling, but Pisces, I'm sure there are times you have felt the feeling, a new feeling very strongly, and then the follow-through of implementing it in your actions, in your day-to-day consistently or evidently, practically, there's a disconnect there. So this is the fifth house right into the sixth house. We feel a new impulse in terms of creativity and romance, but then we're called to put that energy into our day-to-day. You will do it emotionally and intuitively, but make it present. Make it known to yourself in the way you live your day-to-day life, right? Prove to yourself that these feelings are actionable or real by implementing them into your day-to-day routine. Venus, the planet of love, connection, abundance, is in Leo. For you, I feel like this is saying you need self-love through self-care. There can be a way Pisces energy is self-forgetting, which is sometimes, if the scales tip, self-neglectful. So, hold on, let me see something really quick. I misspoke. I am so sorry about your new moon in Gemini experience, and I would like to retract that right now. I was checking with your chart way too quickly. I'm not speaking about it quickly, but I did check into it quickly, and my Aquarius moon is not going to let me lie. The new moon happened in your 4th house of Gemini. So there might be a restart. Forget everything I've just told you, if you are a Pisces rising, about what was happening with you in the new moon and in Cancer season. There might be a restart in your home. I actually like this even more. And what I shared with you about the new moon is going to apply to what I'm going to share next. So it is an energy present in your chart, so maybe don't forget it completely. But there might be a way you are thinking about home that is completely different now. Or feeling about home. You might be starting to build a new kind of home for yourself, or a new understanding of the home you're in, or a new understanding of the childhood home you had, the childhood itself you had. And this might feel, so if this is the new moon in Gemini in the 4th house, this might feel, this translation, now into Cancer season, invigorating in terms of creativity. There might be something that was locked up creatively or romantically, like because the living situation you were in, or like the shit you were carrying from your childhood, or the way you were like relating to your family was keeping it trapped. But this new moon in Gemini now feels to me like, with now Cancer season, like this 4th house new moon, this new moon in the place of family and home and childhood, and then the sun in the Cancer in the 5th house, this feels to me like whatever energy was trapped in like a living situation that wasn't optimal, a way of being with family that wasn't optimal, a way of understanding your childhood that wasn't optimal, but now we have the seed of a new feeling about it has been planted. It's unlocking whatever you were feeling like creatively blocked, or it can if you let it, if you really work with like that call to build a new sense of home and family and childhood. You can unlock creative and romantic potential for yourself that might be trapped in like older limiting senses of home and family and belonging. I do apologize, but again, everything I've said about the like, how do I manifest a creative impulse in my day-to-day life does apply, and here is why, because Venus is in Leo. Venus, again, the planet of love, connection, abundance, beauty, finances and values, is in Leo, which is your 6th house. It is your house of day-to-day routines, if you're a Pisces rising. Why is this important? Because Venus is going to retrograde, which is rare and highly impactful. Like I said, Saturn retrogrades 6 months out of the year. Venus retrogrades once every 2 years, and it's so close to the Earth that like we feel it. It is a personal impact. Saturn is more a collective impact when it retrogrades all the time, but a Venus transit and a Venus retrograde is going to be felt on a personal level. I mean, we'll all be going through it personally in our own way, so it will manifest on a collective level, but for you, this is telling me, again, everything I was saying of like, how does like creativity and romance manifest in your day-to-day life? For me, I feel it is self-love through self-care. This is not the time for that Pisces self-neglect or self-forgetting. This is the time to think about Leo energy, which is, I feel like, a glam warrior victor. Channel that energy into your health and work routines, back to yourself. Call love into your day-to-day life. You need this presence in your life. Like, the sky is telling me this clearly, like whether it was the mistaken interpretation I gave to you of the Gemini moon, or whether it is this actual presence of Leo, Venus and Leo in your 6th house, soon to retrograde. Like, something is saying, stop forgetting yourself, start taking care of yourself, start showing yourself you love yourself. Don't pity yourself, but love yourself through the way you live your day-to-day life, through the way you care for yourself, through your health, right? Through tackling fitness, through tackling challenge, through committing acts of service to yourself, right? It needs to be present in the world and not just felt in your interior. The last thing I will say is that Jupiter is in Taurus. I've talked way too long because of that. That really messed up my flow. I'm so sorry. Jupiter is in Taurus. Jupiter, the planet, again, we talked about of expansion, of fortune, groundedness. It's in Taurus, which is an earth sign, and it is your, I just checked, 3rd house, the house of communication. For me, this is telling me you need spoken, tangible, and not just psychic or intuitive communication with the people in your, like, immediate surroundings and day-to-day life. The people within your home, the people in your workplace, the people in your neighborhood, your neighbors, your roommates, whatever it is. You need spoken, tangible communication, and that will be very fortunate and beneficial for you. Don't rely on the vibes. Say the words. Ground it in reality, which is spoken. Okay? Makes sense? Oh, my Pisces. Let's pull you some cards. See how you're feeling. Again, this is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. I've already talked way longer than I usually do. But you're worth it. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. It's a lot of people. Large, range of energy I am tuning into. So take the messages that resonate. Pisces, do your psychic stuff. You know how. And leave the rest. Yeah? Pisces, 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 Pisces. How do you feel? Overwhelmed. I feel a little overwhelmed. You are so sensitive too. You're so sensitized to energies that other people might not even pick up on. And so overwhelm is an easier place for you to get to reach, because you're, being influenced by so many energies all the time, but you'd feel overwhelmed. Heavy, heart heavy. I don't like that. Pisces. Any messages or insights for my Pisces? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. I want to say, and I'll show you what just fell out here, but I want to say this feeling of heaviness or overwhelm is receding. First card that fell out is the Scorpion, the sting, right? There was an attack or a, I don't know, there was an experience you had that was painful, and I feel like that's what this feeling is attached to. But whatever it was, we have the snake. Now, lately when this card has been coming out for me, I see it as akin to, if you are familiar with the tarot, the World card, which is the end of a cycle. Sorry, one second. The completion of a like a lesson, the learning of a lesson, the finalizing of a chapter of life. I feel that there was something that was really just like a rock in your shoe. Or this is aggressive. It's more aggressive than a rock in the shoe. This is like, it feels like an attack energy. There was a way you were being attacked or experienced an attack. Let me first say, I'm sorry that this happened. This energy does not feel good. This energy feels, I don't even feel fear around it as much as I feel sadness. I feel like heavy when I think about this. But whatever that experience was, it really helped you, like, it illuminated some things for you. You might have been under an illusion about what this was, like convincing yourself it was a different thing, putting on the like Neptune rose-colored goggles that a Pisces can wear and saying like, oh, look at this pretty lizard, and then it stung. And you're like, oh, now I see this is actually dangerous. I was choosing to ignore the danger present here. I was choosing to see things, you know, more optimistically than was useful or accurate. And then this situation bit you in the ass, and it's like, oh no, I know now. I also see this as like a very Saturn card. This is, right now, not always, but right now, certainly, a very Saturn heavy card of like a ring, like this, like there is, this lesson probably came with a harshness, right? With a sting. Saturn lessons often do come through challenge and hardship. But when you learn them, when you close this loop and like finalize this chapter and like realize the reality, the truth, and like accept the responsibility for then, you know, moving forward with this knowledge in a different way, like you never unlearn this lesson, right? This loop is not unclosed. It cannot be unclosed. Like this lesson cannot be unlearned, and it was unlearned in a pleasant way, but you had to see the reality of this situation so that you could move forward into what else came out, which is the cosmic egg. In this deck, this card corresponds to the crown chakra, where we receive cosmic downloads and connect to unity. This is your freaking chakra. This is your card. I see a lot of like, can be like a hanged man energy. If you know tarot, there is a distance that you can get from this situation that will allow you to take a spiritual perspective on it. One that's not the rose-colored goggles that keep you from seeing the danger, but one that accepts the full reality of whatever that was, and like, you can move forward from it. I feel as though, I mean, I'm going to show you the last card that came out, but so much dark energy around here. So much like heavy energy around here. I feel like weighed down, looking at it, feeling it, tuning into it. We have this, that again, I feel is a result of like, yes, whatever pain you went through showed you how dark that situation was when maybe you were focused on like the little bit of light within it. But now you can move into the light because I have these two, the cosmic egg, the crown chakra, and the peacock. I feel like the peacock for me has been very much like a Leo energy. And again, Leo is like very present in the sky right now, but compare where you were, dark, heavy, stinging, dangerous, but we learned a lesson through that process. And now we have a spiritual perspective, and it's making us feel more confident. I still feel shaken. Again, I feel like this was like, you really got stung here, and the lesson was not a pleasant one for you to learn, but you are accepting it, right? And if you're not quite feeling this yet, it's coming. You need to let this go, learn this lesson, and close this chapter. You showed me who you were, what you are, whatever the situation is that stung you, whatever reality came crashing down on you here, right? Whatever fantasy was shattered, but whatever wisdom was gained in that process. right? Wisdom and spirituality. Like, we're heading towards like a resurgence, right? Of self-love. I feel like this was a situation that was very tied into like there's a way you were forgetting yourself or neglecting yourself because you were putting yourself in danger here. Whether or not it was physical danger, it was certainly emotional, psychic, spiritual danger. And then you got hurt by it. But you realized this was a dangerous situation. I can't be around it, right? I know now. You can be grateful. Again, I just feel so heavy though. I feel so heavy thinking about this. I don't want to think about this, but if I don't process it, the loop won't close, the lesson won't learn, and I end up right back in the dark or tricked by like whatever pretty light this damaging situation can lure me with. This feels very much like you got lured into a situation, or you allowed yourself to be lured into a situation by like the promise of it, and then the reality of it came and it was devastating. But lean into your spirituality. Lean into your like psychic or cosmic, I want to say, not psychic, cosmic awareness. There was a reason for this. This kind of card tells me you will know, if you don't now, that there was a reason for this. And I feel that reason is attached to like you getting self-love back, confidence back, strut back. I feel like you're very tired. This wore you out, this Scorpion. Learning this lesson with the snake, shedding this understanding of yourself or of your life or of another person or of a place or of people, many people, a group of people. I feel like it was hard, it was challenging, and it really took you through it. Again, like a Saturn lesson, like I'm seeing this right now, is like we work for it. We work for it. You're on the other side of it now. Like, I mean, the situation has like revealed itself. I feel like there's probably a depression there of like, if you were living under illusion for so long and then now that's shattered, it's like, well, what do I trust anymore? Trust the universe, right? Trust the universe and love yourself. Trust the universe and love yourself. Swan, overall. Partnership. I feel like this is you and spirit, hand in hand, walking together. When you feel incapable of moving forward, you know, spirit will carry you. Until you feel strong enough, confident enough to strut your shit on your own. And even then, you will never be on your own. Spirit will always be with you. You know this, right? You know this. Let's get you some tarot cards, right? Two of Swords underneath, reversed. You know this. You were living in illusion, right? You were living in an illusion. You were keeping yourself in denial about the reality of this person or these people. You see now. You have clarity. You can make the choice and choose you. Choose you. When you feel like you can't carry yourself, right? Trust that the universe is carrying you. Like, there was a reason for this, my Pisces. There was a reason for this. And it's because the universe wants you to remember you were never alone. You are worthy of love from yourself and others. You are beautiful. You're beautiful. Yeah, I want to pull out underneath the swan, I had the turtle, which is, moving through an emotional, watery moment. But I also see in this deck, like, the turtle is like, what story are you going to choose to tell yourself about this moment? Like, ooh, yeah, he doesn't want to be here anymore. Good riddance. He really didn't want to be here anymore. And we don't want him here anymore. Good. Like, we closed that chapter. We learned that lesson. What story are we going to choose to tell ourselves about this moving forward? Right? Because this is going to be about the story you choose to carry forward, the story you choose to believe. And if you choose the right one, the bat, right underneath the turtle, out of the darkness into the light, you can move away from all of this, right? I feel like the turtle is the intermediary between the sting, the moment, the shattering of illusion, the crashing of reality, the lesson and wisdom you learned, the way you're going to choose to narrate this to yourself, and it will help. You will be aided, trust, by spirit, by downloads, by source, by the universe, carried as you structure the way you believe life to be now that this information has been revealed to you, that this reality has come crashing in. You choose the story you tell. It will be an emotional moment, but you can come out of the darkness and into the light if you choose the right story with the aid of spirit, right? One that makes you feel here. This is where we're ultimately heading. But it will be a process of coming through and out. Coming up and out, rather. This feels like you were submerged for a long time. And you're coming up and out now. Spirit is carrying you. There was a divine purpose. There is a divine path. And there is cosmic support for you. Any other messages from my Pisces? Yeah. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Ten of Pentacles upright is like good living, like legacy, like the home is there, the family is there, the money is there, the abundance is there. In reverse, it's not there. I feel like you were investing in a situation for a very long time, thinking you were going to get this, the Ten of Pentacles upright, the good life upright. And this is not something that is like, comes in a day. You don't win the lottery to get to the Ten of Pentacles. You work sometimes for a lifetime to get it. So I feel like you were invested for a very long time in a situation, expecting a reward, expecting a certain turnout, and then it stung you and you got the reverse instead. You got the opposite instead. So I feel like that's a bit of the devastation of like, I feel like I've wasted all of this effort, or I'm devastated that the outcome I was hoping to get, possibly for years, is not the one I'm gonna get. You know, the person I married is not the person I thought I was marrying, right? The job I spent years working, climbing up the ladder for is no longer there for me. Something, it's like, feels like it's something of that nature, like it's that serious, it's that heavy, it's that encompassing. But again, there is a, like, this was not going to be the situation for you. It was a season, and there was a reason. Yeah, because I was like, this energy feels like the sting of a scorpion could be quick, right? But this tells me it was not. Maybe the ending of it, or the coming to light of the reality of the situation was quick. It was like ripping a Band-Aid off. But the investment that you put into the situation was long-term, which is why it feels like it was hard to deal with that moment. I like, though, what just fell out. I have the Four of Wands, which is finding the place you really do belong. What you felt like you were getting here, but you actually didn't, right? You can find it for real. Look at, like, this is the coming home. This is the homecoming. You will find the place that you belong, and where you don't have to, like, Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands. Stabilization. There is a stabilization coming for you. Fours are, a number associated with stability, right? Four walls of a house, like you have a stable structure coming. my only, I guess, I want to be speaking so gently with you because I realize now, like, this is a moment. This is a moment. My only advice about this Four of Pentacles is, because this situation did not turn out well, I feel like you might shut down that heart. I mean, where is he clinging, right? But there is a place calling to you, right? There is a home you will belong in or people you will belong with. And then over all of that, the Empress, the divine feminine card, right? Connection to the earth, the ultimate nurturer. Venus's symbol is right there. It's like love is present. So, I mean, I'm getting emotional thinking or talking about it because like love is so present for you. So don't feel, and I'm just so sorry that this happened. But don't feel that it means love has abandoned you, that spirit or source has abandoned you, the universe has abandoned you. The universe is more present for you now than it maybe ever has been. Like, it is carrying you right now. It is carrying you right now. So don't close your heart, right? Don't shut it down. Keep it open because you are being carried to the people, the places, the opportunities that truly will feel like coming home. You wanted this to be home, but it was not. Don't shut down. You are being so carried right now. You are being so universally supported and loved and lifted and held right now, nurtured. And this is coming for you. This will be triumphant for you. Don't close down. Your spirit is with you now. Yeah, overall I have the Ace of Wands in reverse. You are fearful. You don't trust that you can make a beginning towards this. And that might be because you're closing out the loop of this. Like, you're in the recovery process from this, right? But like, start to do that work. Like, find the support you need to like restructure that narrative and come out of that darkness. Like, rely on your spirituality and on the universe, right? Rely on the people that love and support and uplift you, right? Like, don't do all of this work. Right underneath that was the 10 of Wands. I mean, he's exhausted. He's doing all of this work on his own. Don't do it on your own. This is not the kind of recovery that can happen alone. This is not the kind of recovery that can happen alone. You need the support of other people. Do not be fearful of engaging with other people. Do not be fearful of moving forward, right? What lesson did you need to learn? What lesson is calling to you, right? Don't shut down, but stay in that Pisces flow, which is from the heart, right? To spirit and source, to the universe. Trust that it is holding you, it is carrying you. You are healing. You don't and can't do this alone, right? The people that love and support, the places and opportunities, the windows and openings are for you. Look at this. We are walking towards a portal, a threshold, a new beginning. We're finding for real. Trust it's coming. Whatever you wanted here and didn't get. Okay? I love you, Pisces. Let me pull a parting message for you. It's okay to cry, by the way. Tears are magical. Tears are magical. You need to go through some emotional stuff. It's okay to cry. Any parting messages for my, wow, my voice just cracks. Any parting messages for my Pisces, Sun, and attachment. 8. 2 4s. Letting go, restriction, and fear. Let me read that. You believe that you're in a situation that you cannot free yourself from, afraid to let go and walk away because of a deep sense of duty, commitment, or guilt. Perhaps you feel that you'll hurt or disappoint someone if you let go. Whatever the reason, you feel you have no choice but to stay where you are. The emotional attachment is great and the fear is overwhelming. The fact that you have picked this card today is no coincidence. The message is clear. You are being encouraged to face your fears. Do not listen to that fearful voice any longer. Beyond the fear is a space of love and light, which is guiding you and urging you. To break through. Break free. Trust. Initially, there will be some upheaval, but eventually all will turn out well for all concerned. You owe it to yourself and to others. You deserve to feel light and free. Summon the power of love within you and ask it to guide you and give you the strength to do what you know is right. Unattach yourself from this. Free yourself. I am free from all negative attachment. I am guided by the power of love. I look beyond my fears and see only love. I deserve to be happy. I choose to follow my heart. Free yourself. You deserve it. Okay? I love you, Pisces. Talk soon.